Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Thursday Thoughts. Today's episode is going to be personal, as you guys can probably tell by the title, but I am actually excited about this one. I was hesitating if I was going to share it or not, but I decided that I will, so let's get into it. And just so y'all know, I will be straightening my hair and talking at the same time, so don't mind me. So like I said, today's Thursday Thoughts is going to be very personal, and I hope that it helps y'all because I know that I'm not the only person who's, been on this journey in self-reflection. So let's go for it. Forgiving myself and what that looks like for me. Where do I even begin? For the past several weeks in several vlogs, I have been referencing a certain situation that occurred, and I decided to go further into detail about that. And y'all will see, like, once I tie it all together, that it's gonna make sense. This year, I had to break away from a friendship with someone. I was in a friendship with this person for basically the majority of my life, 10 years. And as you can imagine, you don't see anything coming when you're in a friendship with someone for that long, because it's like everything for the most part is great. Basically, what had happened was this person was saying one thing and doing another. That foundation of consistency and loyalty that we had from the beginning was starting to crack. And, what they were saying did not match their actions and what they were doing. And so, of course, I started noticing the red flags. I started backing away. And that person started to notice that I was letting the ship sink because, now they want to start coming back trying to restore what was lost. So, of course, this person wanted to know, hey, where you at? Where you been? And, I had to explain, why I felt the way I did and why I had to make the necessary adjustment to back away like I did. And I stated my nice little list of why I felt the way I did. And instead of an apology, I got defense mechanisms and I got excuses. I mean, I was invalidated. I was manipulated with all sorts of just defense mechanisms and excuses, like I just said. So, all of this was happening near the end of freshman year. And I would bring it up slightly in some of the earlier weekend recap vlogs of that time. And y'all didn't have a clue because before I started talking more about it, at that time it was mild. So I didn't want to say too much too soon. So during summer break, after freshman year had already ended, I had just mentally felt like in my mind, I've already disconnected myself from this person. So when sophomore season, started, of course, I had to tell this person, hey, we ain't like that anymore. Then all of a sudden, now we want to get mad. Now we want to get upset because, oh, I'm leaving and I'm not your friend anymore. And then it starts happening to where this person is, coming up to my friends now and trying to get them on this person's side. And I'm just like, okay, try if you want to. They ain't gonna listen to you because I don't have a reputation. I asked nicely for it to stop. I asked very nicely for the second time. And now it starts getting even more aggressive. It was literally, to be honest, it was literally borderline harassment, if we could be completely honest. There was a lot of persecution on me for making a decision to do something that was best for me by the person who created the problem against me. That was a mouthful to say just now. Because of the lack of the ability to own up to what was done, why the heck would I stay in a friendship when I can't change the mindset of someone who don't see anything wrong with what they did? You know what I'm saying? So, I did what I needed to do that was best for me, for myself. And I had the greatest peace once I did that. If you are in a one-sided friendship and you're the only one contributing, of course you're gonna want to back out of that friendship because it's like it's not giving what it's supposed to give. Cause like I'm gonna stop wasting my time. So I made my exit. I say all this not to put the person on blast because that's not what I'm trying to do. Anytime that I bring up, my personal life situations, I always try to use it to inspire and empower and encourage. So I am not blasting the person, but I am just saying, like, people come and go. The season could be for 10 years, like this friendship was for me, or the season could be 10 months. And number two, if you are in a toxic friendship drama ordeal, get the heck out of it because your life will be so much more peaceful. You will literally stay in a friendship because this person is your friend and you will ignore the red flags. Once everything was over and this person stopped being, petty to me and, my friends and whatnot, I was relieved because I'm like, thank God, like go somewhere and sit down. I felt relieved. And then all of a sudden I just felt weird. Like I felt emotional. I felt guilty. I had just gotten out of a very dramatic situation that my friends were also unintentionally pulled into, not by me. And so I'm thinking like, why am I feeling emotional? Like I should be happy. I was in tears and I'm just like, I'm out of my mind. Like I don't know what's going on. And I had realized like the following week that I was subconsciously holding a grudge against myself. And I was like, why am I so emotional? And I was like, oh my goodness, I have not taken the time to fully go back and forgive myself. I wasn't necessarily upset at the fact that I couldn't change the other person. I just remember after the whole situation was finally over, I just remember telling my friends I'm sorry. And they were like, Z, what are you talking about? And that's when it had clicked that it was a mind game against myself. And it was like, I know we didn't do anything. It was nothing that we did on our part. And I just felt like I owed that to my friends because it just, for them to have to be unintentionally like just pulled into all of that was just something that really bothered me. And it was just that I was recovering from the emotional parts that I unintentionally neglected because it's easy to be in the moment and, wanting to be involved and putting an end to the problem. But at the same time, you tend to neglect how you feel about it in the process because you're solely consumed on making sure that it doesn't happen again. For the past several weeks, I've just been kind of working on myself in that area and just making sure that I don't let my emotions stop me from still being a good friend to other people and to my squad and everything like that. Because, when you go through things, it's easy for you to change and easy for you to let that change you or let that define you. And so for me, I just feel like the biggest thing is just not letting my emotions ruin things for someone else just because I'm in my mental reconstruction zone, if that makes sense. My friends have been so good, to me. They defended me when this was going on and they have supported me after the fact and just, they ask how I'm doing because this was a very extensive situation. And they don't ask often how I feel about the whole thing, but when they do ask, it is just very rejuvenating and it just makes me refocus on what's important. And it also reminds me that I have them and that's good enough for me. I feel like October, November, December, I've just really been talking about how much of this fourth quarter has been just a mental reconstruction period for me as I work through all of the monstrosities that life has given to me this fourth quarter and this year, honestly. 2022 was amazing. Like looking back, there were just so many great parts that just made this year what it was, even though there were some also pretty hard moments as well. And even though 2022 was relatively amazing, I want 2023 to be even more amazing. And so I am just trying to get myself together and just um, have those mental detox moments to just close that gap of guilt and frustration with myself for things that I let slide or slip and different things like that. This journey of working on yourself is a journey that is worth it because, you know, you discover who you are as a person. You also learn things along the way. You learn who's there for you and who's not. And it's just, and it does not feel good in the process, but in the end, it is always a beautiful thing. And you look back on those moments and you're like, you know, I found so many great things about myself that I never would have, you know, discovered had I not gone through these moments. Just kind of weird emotions, weird state of emotions to be in, but it's wild. But that's what's going on. But that's my Thursday thoughts for now. Just wanted to talk about this because, you know, we all have those moments where we get in those friendship frenzies and, you know, we feel some sort of way afterwards and we don't know, you know, how to feel about it. And so maybe it's just because you haven't forgiven yourself. I don't know if that was a answer to someone's question about why they feel the way they feel about a friendship or something like that. But if you just feel, you know, guilty about something, you probably haven't forgiven yourself. I think what's been helping me just kind of get my emotions together is just being with my people. Ever since they had to defend me in this situation at a certain point, God really just reminded me through this situation that these are my people and that they are solid. And so I think just the journey of, you know, closing that gap of guilt is just being with them and just letting God remind me through them of what's important and to stay focused and all those things. Another thing that has helped me is music. Y'all know music is my heart. Even I'm wearing my sweatshirt right now. I know y'all can't see the full thing, but it says "Take me to the music," and music is just a whole different world to me. Just different songs, different lyrics have just really just been keeping me going, keeping the vibe high, and just making sure that I stay in that place of happiness and stay in that place of loving myself and making sure that I don't drift off into other thoughts that are not godly. But yeah, it's a process. For the most part, I am doing so good. I am so happy that, you know, this situation has ended. I've just had the greatest peace. And I just feel like life is just coming back to what it's supposed to be, you know, and I'm so grateful and I'm just thankful for where God has me right now. It's been weird. There's moments I haven't understood, but God has just made everything make sense. And so I trust his plan, even though I may not always understand, because his will is greater than mine. And all I can do is trust in that. And if he's led me through hard moments before, he can do it again. And I have no doubt in my mind that God will do exactly what he said he will do. And he has carried me through every single situation of my life. And without God, everything else fails. And even to that point too, like, you know, forgiving myself, I'm so grateful that I have this relationship with God, because God just reminds me in those moments where I have those guilt trips sometimes, you know, he reminds me of who I am, and he reminds me of my worth and how valuable I am to him. And that makes me just smile, knowing the fact that I am loved and valued by God and that I am his. And it doesn't matter what has happened, that I am still his child. And that is the greatest gift to me. Those are my Thursday thoughts. Thank y'all so much for coming on here to listen to me talk. This was very personal, but I wanted to share it and just talk with y'all about it. And also thank y'all for staying with me as I straighten my hair. It looks pretty cute. I am going to probably wear my hair straight for the rest of the week and then put some curls in it for Christmas, because Christmas break starts next week. Stay tuned, y'all. We have some incredible things going on for the Christmas holiday during Christmas week. Got some fun things going on, and I don't want y'all to miss it because Christmas on the channel is always a fun ordeal. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.